Hey, how are you? In this video, I'm going to talk about why I believe your agency is not growing at the moment. Something I've been really kind of focused on recently is making sure I'm making the most out of my time. We all have the same amount of hours throughout the day. You know, a lot of us wake up super early. A lot of people brag about, hey, I wake up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, and I'm already jamming. And that's awesome. But there's also, all these successful people, agents out there, and CEOs of all these big companies. They have the same amount of time as you and I do every single day. So if you're feeling like you're constantly being swamped throughout the day, all day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., or even earlier, 6, 7, 8 till 6, 7 p.m., and you're just jam-packed with stuff all the time, just stuff, you really should be listening to this, because this is something I've recently been realigning my focus and realigning my intention and my energy into. And that is what is called the 80-20 rule. And you may have heard of it before. I believe it's by Pareto. He created the 80-20 rule years and years and years ago. And it basically states that 80% of your results are come from 20% of your activity, or 20% of the, actions being taken. And it starts to apply, and it's the very interesting part about this is that it starts to apply in all these different areas of life. Like, for example, 80% of the car accidents that happen tend to happen from 20% of the drivers. Like, there's like a small, and I actually audited my own book of business, and I said, okay, 80% of my book actually comes from the top 20% of my customers, because that's where the biggest premiums are. So I started thinking about it, and I said, wait a minute, if that's the case, what can I do to focus instead of being just all this tedious, busy work all day? And honestly, guys, no, I'm going to tell you straight up, like, I feel like there's days where I'm just like doing all these stuff, making changes to policies, answering calls, like doing all this stuff that I'm still working within the agency, and I'm just using up all this time like crazy. And I'm like, dude, this is not even like, this is the bottom part of my 80% of my this is the bottom portion of my book. This is the small portion of my book. 80% of my book, it comes from 20% of my people. So I'm spending all 80% of my time on the small portion of people that are making up the lower amount of my book. So I'm just using up all this crazy energy on stuff that's not really bringing me maximum results. So what I'm trying to do in this video, and to try to help you, if you feel like your agency is not growing and you're just kind of spinning your wheels constantly and you're running, obviously there's patience that needs to happen, because it is not a fast, super fast business that from one day to the other you're going to be making $1 million. But if you're not seeing big results, like, just to give you an example, and this is not to brag by any means, it's literally just to try to give you kind of like insight and proof that the stuff that I do, at least has results for me. And I wouldn't share it if I didn't believe it had results, because my number one goal is to help you take it to the next level and to grow your agency. So, in this last month, by myself, because I simply focused, like, I've only sold about, and we're not even completely done with May yet, I've only sold, 6, 7, 8 policies myself, but that has totaled upwards of $150,000 in premium, which is a fantastic kind of month for a one person. I mean, in comparison to other agents, some agents are doing, massive accounts, but 150,000 in premium just for myself, by myself, between 7, 8 accounts. I have really focused more on like who is really making the agency, the top line. How can I increase the top line and grow the revenue? And who's going to do that? Which clients? Which tasks should I be focused on? So you need to make a list of the largest revenue generating activity. See your biggest customers. How did you get those customers? Have conversations with those customers. Have conversations with similar types of people in those customers. And audit, how did that whole process happen? Where did they come from? Do more of that stuff instead of all this busy work that's not doing anything really for you or for your agency. You really need to make a list of, find your biggest customer, take your top 20%, of your customers and see where did those come from, how did I get those, talk to those people, call up and have conversations with those customers, and find a process and a system that really, really works and double down on it. And be intentional that you're going to do this, because when you commit to something and you feel that there is, real certainty and drive to make something happen, you will start to see results. I've seen myself go through these ups and downs of, motivation, where I've been, my back's completely against the wall, and I have to make stuff happen. Like this month was one of them. We had a lower month in the past couple of years, and I was like, dude, I need to make stuff happen this month, and I made it happen. So early on in the month, I focused hard on the big accounts. I went after them. I hunted them down. Another thing is, never stop hunting. You need to go out and hunt. Your team members, I'm sure they're probably selling, but you need to go out and bring in the big stuff. It's up to you to open up the top line. So that's something I've focused on this month, and I focused on my top 20% of customers, and I'm trying to make them, the norm. Like I'm trying to make them into the 80%, and then keep kind of just making that top line higher and higher and higher, and keep growing the agency. So that's my number one tip. If you feel like you're spinning your wheels and constantly, running around, and just being busy and busy and busy, and results are not huge, you need to do less, and you need to focus more intentional work. I know it sounds weird and not right to be telling right now to do less, because I always talk about activity, but activity needs to be focused, and it needs to be intentional with the stuff that's going to make you the most revenue and bring most success to the agency. We're all here, and it's a game. We're playing the same game. You and I are playing the same insurance game, and who's going to play it better? That's a good question. So who's going to play it better? Is it you or is it me? And I'm dialed in on what's going to make me the most. At the end of the day, how do you determine success in your agency? It's book of business size, revenue, clients on the books. Like those are kind of things that people base off tech, quote unquote, success and winning, whatever you want to call it. And I think if you are feeling busy, you need to realign your stuff, make a list of your top stuff that's working for you, and cut out the other 80% of bullshit. Excuse my language, but the other 80% is just bullshit. It's holding you back. It's stopping you from growing and taking it to the next level. And thank God I've come across this recently, because it's exactly what I needed. So hopefully, if you needed that, hopefully that does help you. If you do get any value from this, please give a like, please subscribe, ring the bell, share this with somebody that might need to hear this, insurance or not. This is something that can help you grow your agency and take it to the next level, or your business or your sales career, whatever it is that you do. But mainly insurance agents out there, focus on your top clients and bringing in more of those, instead of spending an hour on the phone with underwriting, trying to fix a billing problem with somebody. Like those things are important, but and customer service is super important, but you need to set that up around you so that that's right, and you can keep continuing to bring in that top line. That's all I got. I hope that does help. We'll see you guys at the top. I'm getting hyped up. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys soon.